Hi, I'm Jeff Munroe from Middlebury, working my way through the collector's tour. It's October 6th, 2024, and I'm here with dust collector number 8. I put this one out in October of 2015. I wanted something to represent the far eastern end of the Uinta Mountains in northern Utah, and that's what I got. It's been here ever since. It's a beautiful location. I can see into Wyoming, I can see into Colorado, and it's turned out to be a useful data point for kind of northeastern extent of my dust collector network. I was thinking on the hike up here that I've ended nearly every one of my videos saying I better get to work emptying the collector, and yet I've never told you anything about how I actually do that. And so I thought I'd explain the process here, and then I'll record a time lapse while I'm doing it, since it might be a rather boring video at full speed. One thing I really like about earth science is the way that it combines really low-tech techniques and approaches with really sophisticated laboratory and field analyses. So think of a geologist breaking off a rock with a hammer, but then taking it back to the lab and vaporizing it with a laser and measuring its geochemistry in an instrument that costs $1 million. The dust sampling is kind of similar in the sense that all kinds of sophisticated things will happen to the dust samples in the laboratory. But actually getting the dust out of these passive samplers is not very sophisticated at all. The things that I bring up to do this: 5 liters of distilled water in acid-washed Nalgene bottles, big funnel, and a colander. We've got the shuttle for downloading the data logger, shouldn't forget that. And then in this bag, I've got a slotted spoon. I've got an acid-washed empty Nalgene bottle. I've got a turkey baster. I've got a toothbrush. And I've got 5 1-gallon Ziploc bags. And so the way this works, essentially, is that I scoop all the beads from one trough out into the colander, put the colander in the funnel, put the funnel in the empty bottle, and pour about half a liter of distilled water through it, stir it with the spoon, pour the other half of the distilled water through it, or half of the distilled water liter through it, and then put those beads into one of the plastic bags. Repeat that for the other 4 troughs so that all of the beads are out of the collector and each one of these 5 bags is full, and each one of these 5 liters of water is now slightly dirty from having passed through and washed the dusty beads. Then I move the rocks out away from the collector. These are here just to kind of keep wind from getting under it and blowing it away in the winter. Pick the entire thing up. It doesn't have any beads in it anymore at this point. And at the end of each one of these 5 troughs, there's a little door with a rubber gasket on it and 2 thumb screws. I'll take the thumb screws off from one of the doors, pop the door off, and then I can tilt the entire collector up, aiming the empty end where the door was removed into the funnel, into an empty bottle, and I can pour water into the trough, scrub it with the toothbrush, and rinse it all down, put the door back on, and repeat. Yes, I'm using the same water again, but the water has washed the beads, and then it can wash the troughs. It's not a big deal. When that's all done, all the doors are back on, I level the collector again, pour the beads out from the bags, put the rocks back around it, make sure I have everything, make sure I've downloaded the data logger, and hike back out. So not much to it. Anything that involves a colander and water and a toothbrush in the field is probably not that sophisticated. Oh, I didn't mention the baster. If it's rained recently, or if there's been snow, there'll be water in the collector, so I'll use the baster to suck that out. Or if it's really windy, when I remove the beads from a trough and I see all the precious dust lined up there on the bottom, all vulnerable to getting blown away in the wind, I'll sometimes pour just a little bit of the distilled water in there to wet it and hold it in place. And if I've done that, then I'll use the baster to suck it all out before I tip things up on end. So that's the way it works. I'm going to get to work actually emptying dust 8. I'll stop this video, but I'll start up a time lapse. If it works, we'll include it because that'd be kind of fun to see. Thanks for watching. I'll see you at the next collector. I'll be working my way around onto the north side of the Uintas this coming couple of days. And thanks to the Ashland National Forest, again, for permission to deploy, in this case, Dust 8 here. And thanks to the National Science Foundation for supporting Dust Squared.